So all the men out there still confused.
To be clear, there are actually zero men confused. I checked. We just don't agree.
Ladies, low effort men not only waste your time, they are also terrible for your nervous system. Nothing is more dysregulating to your nervous system than an inconsistent.
At some point in our lives, we have all met the bare minimum. And if you haven't, girl, you're so lucky. Bare minimum men are individuals who give the lowest possible effort in a relationship to keep it from failing. It's not like he's cheating or cruel, but he's not interested in making the relationship work either. Sometimes he might even text you, compliment you here and there, or even talk about the future in vague. But if you look closely, you will realize the effort never deepens, the relationship is never progressing.
About things he does that you think are a big deal and mean a lot, but are actually bare minimum behavior and mean nothing. The last one may shock you. I feel like a lot of women still don't really understand what bare minimum behavior means. And obviously this can vary depending on your standards, depending on how you value yourself, and just the things you prioritize in a relationship. So if you disagree with any of these, let me know in the comments. I'm totally open to conversation, but let's get into it. Let's start off with a simple one. Opening the car door for you is bare minimum behavior and does not really mean anything. It just means that he's literally opening the car door for you to try to seem chivalrous and nice, but that does not mean that he is like the most amazing guy you've ever dated. And if you're dating a guy that isn't opening doors for you, what the heck is wrong with you?
Why does he act like he's going above and beyond when he's doing the bare minimum? So here's the truth. Reason number one is social conditioning. Most men were believed to raise that once they get a job and pay the bills and provide, they've completed their entire role in the relationship. You don't deserve to ask him for anything more. From start to finish, beginning to end, they're never taught emotional labor or emotional repair, communication or mental load or partnership. These are all new ideas to them. When they do the smallest emotional thing, like a date or a text or a question or a hug, they feel like, oh wow, look at me, I went way above and beyond what's required. Because to them, it's extra. Reason number two is entitlement. Decades of conditioning have told men, if I provide financially, she handles the rest. That's what I deserve. And the rest is everything. The emotional labor, the planning, the parenting, the regulating, the social connections, the holidays, the remembering, the fixing, the smoothing over, the keeping it all together. Women are taught to carry the entire relationship, and men are taught to believe that providing financially entitles them to that. So he genuinely believes he's doing so much, and you genuinely feel like he's doing the bare minimum. You're not crazy. You're not expecting too much. You're living in the gap between what men were taught that love requires and what love actually requires.
This is why he's keeping you around, even though he's doing the bottom of the barrel, bare minimum. All right. So ladies, listen up, pay close attention, and do better. Number one, it's an ego boost for him. It's an ego boost for him because he knows that he can have you as an option. You know what I mean? And he knows that you're always going to be there to take him back, even though he doesn't do anything to deserve any of you. Number two, because you don't have standards for yourself and respect yourself, he knows that he can disrespect you and treat you any kind of way. All right? He knows that he can leave you on red. He knows that he can ghost you for about a week or two. And, you know, when he's ready to come back into your life or hit you back with a text, he know that you're going to be right there. You know what I mean? Because you don't respect yourself enough. And he's not going to reap any consequences for disrespecting you. And number three, he knows that you're going to give him full access. Full access as if you his wife or his woman, even though he hasn't committed to you in the slightest. Sis, do better. Like a chef part two.
He loves you, and I'm going to tell you. He will, without you having to prompt him, tell you how he feels about you all the time. He will remind you how amazing he thinks you are. He will make plans for the future, not just this week or next week, but years from now. He will want to lock you down. He will want to help you. If he sees that you're struggling, he'll want to help you with things that you haven't even thought of yet. He'll come up with projects for you to do together, trips for you to take together. He'll ask you about your day, want to know if you've eaten yet, bring you something to drink if he thinks you might be thirsty. He'll compliment you on what you wear, compliment you on your hair. He'll tell you little details about you that he loves about you and likes about you and finds attractive that you never even thought about yourself. He'll say things to you like, I've never felt this way around anybody else, ever. over and over and over again, because it'll be a little puzzling to him. He's going to want to touch you. He's going to hold your hand. He's going to want to hug you. He's going to be a little bit confused about why he wants to just touch you all the time, but he's still going to want to do it, even though it's very confusing to him. You're going to bring out a side of him that he's maybe never even seen in himself before. Just be patient with him, because he's really over the moon for you. He's going to be honest with you. He's going to be transparent with you. He's going to be excited and want to have fun with you. He will never, ever want to keep you from being the absolute best you can possibly be in your life. And he will never be able to stop himself from being your number one fan, no matter what that means for your relationship. He's just going to be in your corner every day, all the time, no matter what. Period.
So all the men out there still confused.
To be clear, there are actually 0 men confused. I checked. We just don't agree. Viewer discretion is advised.
On why women expect you to plan a date, pay for the date, pick us up from the date, open the door, get us flowers, and literally do what we call the bare minimum, and you don't think it's the bare minimum. Let me explain to you why we think it's the bare minimum.
Although I'm going to let her explain, I don't think people know what the definition of bare minimum actually means. It means to do the least amount of work possible to reach whatever goal that you're trying to obtain. To do only what is necessary to reach your destination. In that laundry list you just gave, you mentioned flowers. That is not necessary. So this is an extra step, which automatically makes it not the bare minimum.
You guys expect us... Okay. Let's say you're dating for marriage. Okay, you're dating in the expectations of possibly meeting the person you're going to marry and spend the rest of your life with. Most people who want to get married also want to have children. Okay, and if you are a man expecting to impregnate a woman eventually, then it is the bare minimum to plan the dates, to pay for the dates, and to literally just treat her correctly.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. This is why she thinks it's the bare minimum. It's because she's comparing apples to oranges. She's comparing going out on dates or taking a woman on a date to her giving birth to your child. And the reason it's apples to oranges is because every woman you take on a date is not guaranteed to birth your child. Let alone is she guaranteed or is it mandatory for her to have a child for you, even if the relationship does move forward. We all should know that going on a date doesn't mean you're going to get children, and having children doesn't also mean you were dating. I thought this was common knowledge that we all should know, but I guess not.
It is the bare minimum for men to do those things because it's the bare minimum for women to put their life in danger. Giving birth is literally putting your life in danger. It is like a 50-50 chance that I will come out of this pregnancy alive with my child as well.
I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to have to do this to her because I can tell she's really young and she hasn't really experienced life and she doesn't really know what the fuck she's talking about. But here we are, learning lesson. First and foremost, it is not the bare minimum for a woman to give birth to a child. It is the highest honor a woman can actually give a man. Secondly, it is not a 50-50 chance on whether you're going to make it out alive in that delivery room. The fatality rate of women giving birth to a child and not making it out of the delivery room is so fucking low, especially in the US. I took the liberty of looking up the stats. For every 100,000 births, maybe 22 women don't make it out of the delivery room. And this is not to say that women are not putting their lives on the line because it still is a very complex procedure in delivery. However, this 50-50 shit she was talking about is not true at all.
And even if I do have a successful pregnancy and the child is healthy and everything, women still go through postpartum depression and they still have their period after they give birth and stuff like that. There's still like a lot of changes in their body that's happening. And men expect women to just bounce back like this when their stomach was literally a whole fucking bowling ball and you expect her to be as tall as a pencil.
I really hope this video reaches that young woman, but here we are. The fact of the matter is this. I can tell. It's clear as day. We could hear it in your voice. We could see it in your face. You haven't experienced none of that shit that you're talking about. You really don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You are just regurgitating a whole bunch of shit that you've heard online from other women. And it's unfortunate because what you're doing right now is adopting their trauma. That is not your story. And the downside to adopting someone else's trauma is you are not going to receive the same results that they receive. Two people can go through the same thing, but they're gonna breed different results. As far as the postpartum depression, their body's changing and them still having periods, that has nothing to do with men. We are not in control of any of that in any way, shape, or form. That is a conversation you should have with God. Men do not have to now compensate you because of your bodily functions as a woman. The only thing that man that impregnated you is required to do is be the best possible father and partner he can actually be. His job is to ease this process to the best of his abilities. But still, none of that has anything to do with the bare minimum on dates, which is what you led with. The most unfortunate part about this video is She has her whole life ahead of her that she has to live. But instead of doing that, you are going to adopt someone else's trauma, stunt your own growth, and now every interaction that you have with the opposite sex is going to be based on this preconceived notion that you are going to experience all of those things that you listed. When in reality, you don't actually have to go through any of that. You can take your time, find someone that you deem to be valuable, and they find you the same way, and you guys build something wonderful together. Those same women that you take this advice from have never once told you the part that they played in their own demise, and that is the scary part.
As a young lady, I do not think that we are actually, like, as women, as a group, we're not mad enough about misogyny. Like, we are too okay with misogyny to the point where even women uphold misogyny. We have women literally defending misogyny, preaching that men are the prize and that women should just do whatever men say.
Yeah, that ain't even about bare minimum no more. I don't know how the fuck we got to this point in the video, but I guess. But I'm gonna tell y'all, like I've told y'all before, there's a group thinker born every day, just like there's a sucker born every day. That's just the way the world works. I hope this young woman wakes up one day and says, you know what? I am in control of my own life. The decisions I make for myself shape my future. And hopefully then she'll realize anybody doing anything extra for me will never be the bare minimum.
Ladies, let me give you 5 signs that he's giving you bare minimum from the start. Number 1, inconsistent communication. Text messages when it's convenient, silence when it's not. Number 2, last minute plans or none at all. You want to come over? You want to come over is not a date. It's a shortcut. Number 3, no initiative. You're planning, you're confirming, you're reminding. Congratulations, guess what? You're dating yourself. Number 4, low effort, high expectations. He wants your time, energy, and access, but won't invest a dime or an ounce of thought. Number 5, vague about intentions, no clarity, no directions, just vibes. Vibes don't build relationships. The bottom line, if he starts with crumbs, he plans to keep you hungry. Bare minimum, walk away. Comment below, no bare minimum, and go with God.
If a man is giving you bare minimum effort and you have given him your energy, your time, and your body, he is never going to want to commit to you because he sees that he doesn't need to do more than the bare minimum to get exactly what it is that he wants from you. If after 2 to 3 days of not hearing from him, he hits you up randomly out of nowhere and there you are responding immediately, yeah, he's not going to commit. Why would a man want to commit to a woman who is okay with the bare minimum? If he sees that you're okay with the bare minimum, he's going to continue to give you the bare minimum because he knows this is all that's required to get what he wants from you. I'll give you an analogy to paint the picture a little better. Let's say I have a friend who owns a cow farm, right? And every now and then I need some milk, so every now and then I'll go to the cow farm to milk the cows to get the milk that I need. Why would I buy the whole cow if the milk is free? There's no need to buy the whole cow when what I want and what I need is for free. That's the same way that a lot of men view women when it comes to these things. Why would he commit to you? Why would he go above and beyond? Why would he put in more effort if what he wants, he's getting it for free or for the minimal amount of effort? It wouldn't make sense for me to buy the entire cow when what I want is free. You see what I mean? If all a man has to do is hit you up every now and then and give you the bare minimum effort to get what he wants from you, he ain't never gonna want to commit. And there comes a time where you have to take accountability for these things. You have to take accountability for allowing certain things to happen in your life. You can only blame men for so much. A man is only willing to give you as much as you're willing to tolerate. So if he sees that you're okay with the bare minimum, guess what he's gonna do? Give more of the bare minimum. At this point, you can't even get mad at men anymore. You have to get mad at yourself for doing the most for someone that is giving you the least. If you already gave him your body, you hooked up with him, you gave him your energy, your time, he's not gonna commit to you because he got these things without the need to commit. And as fucked up as it sounds, why would he buy the cow when the milk is free?
Bare minimum men leave you feeling like you are constantly asking for basic things like time, clarity, intentionality, gift, reassurance, among others. And contrary to what many women hope, most of the time, he is not confused, neither is he unaware. He truly understands exactly how much effort he is giving you. Bringing bare minimum to the table is not a lack of accountability or ability, it is a decision. This set of men have the capacity to do more, but they choose not to. If you look closely, you will see how much effort he puts in other things like his career, his hobbies, friendships, and so on. So the issue is not competence, but willingness. Bare minimum men evaluate the relationship in terms of what they gain versus what they invest.
There's men out here paying bills, sending money for no reason, buying flowers, taking women out on dates, just being nice to them and making their lives easier in general. And then there's you, settling for a man that doesn't take you out, takes 2 hours to call you back, doesn't know how to express his emotions, and ask you what you're doing every 5 minutes. Ladies, stop settling for less. Stop settling for less just because you believe there isn't better out there. I assure you, there is always going to be someone better out there. Just because you haven't found them at this moment in time doesn't mean you won't find them later on down the line. So don't be rushing into anything that you're not ready for. You lot are queens, and queens deserve high standards. Once you set such a high standard for yourself, you can never be disappointed. That way you will never come across a man that isn't putting in 100% effort, because as I previously said in other videos, what one man doesn't do, another man will. You lot honestly deserve the world. You carry our kids in your bellies for 9 months, you stick by us through hard times, and all you ever do is love and care for us. So the least we could do is give you 100% effort in a relationship.
Trips and dinners are not providing, and I don't consider them nothing from a man. I'm not really grateful for going for nice trips and dinners with men. I don't feel like they did something for me. He did it for himself.
And she's right. Ladies, it's not a gift if he also benefits from it. And a man adding you as his +1 on his vacation benefits him way more than it does you. A gift is sacrificial. A man who provides needs to be sacrificing something of himself to be selfless for you. That man would have gone on that trip regardless if you existed in his life. He would have still gone on that trip. He would have still stayed at that hotel or Airbnb. He would have still ate at those restaurants regardless. That extra plane ticket means nothing to him. He probably used points to get you that ticket anyways. He won. He looks better to other men and women because he has a pretty woman on his shoulder. He's not lonely and gets your attention and your cat. Low effort, free cat the whole vacation. To me, what makes a man a provider is if he's doing something that conveniences your life and doesn't really benefit him. Like putting food in your fridge in an apartment that he does not live in with you. Paying your expenses. Giving you access to his car so that you can use it whenever you feel like you need to. Or want. Yes, experiences are fun. And I am a woman that has been on plenty of vacations with all the men that I've dated. However, even I can understand and admit that I definitely was benefiting them a little more than I was being benefited from. I had my fun. It was great. But don't put these men on a pedestal because they're paying an extra plane ticket or getting an extra plate on the vacation he would have gone to anyways. You are just a body that is filling a role for his little fun. That doesn't make him a provider or a marriage material. It's the bare minimum. And it's not a gift.
Now, I love me a nice sprinkle kiki, but I am genuinely terrified for younger and impressionable women in our society who run with the whole sprinkle provider male mentality, and that's literally all they're searching for in a potential suitor. I watched the Trophy Wives video, and as a mom myself, my heart absolutely breaks for her and her family. But I love that this has sparked a conversation about the detriments to the sprinkle mentality, the provider male mentality, and just things that we as women need to be careful and look out for when choosing to date with a hypergamous mindset. Provision does not start and end with finances. A man providing for you financially is truly the bare minimum. And I think that's why as women, it's so important to develop yourself financially, emotionally, spiritually, because I think that gives you the clarity to really see that like financial provision is the bare minimum that I could ever ask for from a man. How is that man protecting me spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically? Is he a man capable of providing the fatherly characteristics that I would need for my children? I think the problem with this sprinkle thing is that a lot of women are dating out of desperation. And when you date and marry out of desperation, what you see, you see. For my younger ladies out there, Louis is not worth the detriment to your mental health. Louis is not worth the devastation it can cause to your children and your children's children. The man you choose to partner with will either propel you further into your destiny or hold you back and truly be the cause for your destruction. Choose wisely.
Some women are so impressed by a man who does the bare minimum that they will get very angry with you when you say, hey, you don't gotta settle for the bare minimum anymore. Like, there'll be a woman who will say, Some women are so impressed by a man who does the bare minimum that they will get very angry with you when you say, hey, you don't gotta settle for the bare minimum anymore. Like, there'll be a woman who will say, my husband is so good to me. He cleans up around the house. He's so amazing. He picks up. And I'm like, that's actually not impressive. That is an adult activity that if he wasn't doing that, that would be very childish. Like, if he was just leaving things around the house, expecting you to pick up after him, expecting you to be the only person that cleans up, that would mean that he's treating you like you're his mother. You will do yourself such a favor if you train your brain to realize him doing the same things that you're doing means that those are just basic parts of being in a relationship, basic parts of being an adult, basic parts of, for example, a marriage, having a family together, having a house together. Saying that, reminding women like that's actually not impressive, makes some women very angry. And that's why I always have to remember some women were just raised by maybe a father who maybe treated her mom like crap. So whenever a man performed like a basic task of care or just a basic part of a relationship, women are like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. Like, no, you're actually not. You are settling. You're settling for below average treatment.
When a bare minimum man receives companionship, intimacy, emotional support, and validation while investing very little effort, there is no internal motivation for him to do more. There are so many reasons as to why the bare minimum man doesn't put extra effort, but the biggest one is that he simply doesn't want to, and it is because he is not invested in you or the relationship. He's just using you to pass time. Of course, he may like you, but he doesn't like you enough to show that he truly cares for you. You are not someone he is dating for the long term. I always say this, it is better to be alone than to be with a bare minimum man because you are going to regret it. Best is, a life with a bare minimum man will never be better than the life being single. And the sooner you know this, the better. Because when you realize this, you will refuse to settle for the bare minimum men. As ladies, it is important to have standards. Having standards won't allow you fall for anything. You know what you are bringing to the table and you shouldn't accept anything lower. Now you may ask, why does he not leave? People often ask this question. If he doesn't want anything serious, why does he not simply leave? The simple answer is that the arrangement works. I mean, he receives companionship without full obligation, he experiences intimacy without long-term planning, you are giving him emotional support without consistent emotional labor, you care for him, you cook for him, you wash his clothes. He will not stay. Definitely he will stay. He knows that when he's giving you this minimum effort, you do the most. Think about it for a second. Living will require him to give up benefits that he's already enjoying without doing much, while staying requires only minimal maintenance. And unless you raise the bar, the cost of access, by requiring more, by withdrawing over-functioning behavior, or by leaving, this attitude will continue. Because the truth is that people rarely abandon systems that benefit them. And if you're already tolerating the bare minimum now that you're in a relationship, then when you marry, just know that it's going to be worse. It is necessary to acknowledge that bare minimum dynamics are sustained by tolerance. When you repeatedly accept cancelled plans, delayed responses, undefined status, and vague promises, you naturally communicate that these behaviors are sufficient to keep you. This is not about blaming anybody. Many women actually accept less because they hope their effort will increase with time. They believe that patience proves loyalty, and loyalty will eventually be rewarded. But the mistake they are making is that pattern solidifies and it doesn't improve. If he learns that your threshold is staying low, he will operate at that threshold. But if he sees that you require more, some of them will do better. Remaining in a bare minimum dynamic has consequences. You may begin to doubt your needs. You may minimize your standards to avoid appearing too demanding. Over time, your self-concept can shift. Instead of seeing yourself as someone deserving of intentional love, you begin to feel grateful for the basics. The greatest danger to bare minimum treatment is not heartbreak, it is normalization. When low effort becomes familiar, high effort can feel unrealistic. A bare minimum man is rarely unaware. More often, he has calculated how little he can give while maintaining the connection. His behavior is shaped by self-interest, emotional avoidance, ego reinforcement, and absence of consequences for low efforts. So ladies, know your standards today. The truth is that there's somebody out there that will treat you exactly the way you want to be treated. But if you're already accepting bare minimum now, how will the person meet you? Be bold today. Get yourself together. It's either you leave that relationship or you demand for more. The real power in these situations lies not in decoding him endlessly, but in evaluating your own tolerance. If the standard you accept is minimal, minimal will continue. If the standard you require is intentionality, consistency, and mutual effort, then only someone capable of meeting that standard will remain in your life. So besties, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you have been able to pick a thing or two. I would like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and please subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Till I see you on another video, have an amazing day. Bye.